Hi everybody, welcome to Dandelion Cottage and Watercolor Wednesday. I'm Leslie Watkins. It's starting to feel like it's getting awfully close to the holidays, so I thought what I would do would pull out one of the bundles that I have to make some Christmas card and treats. I have a lot of people in my life here in New England who love nature. So for all the nature lovers, we're going to be using winter owls. And this stamp set features this snowy owl, some sentiments, and some extras. It even has a little bit of starry sky here if you wanted to do a little heat embossing. But I'm going to mix it up. I'm going to be using some designer series paper from the Winter Meadow 12 by 12 pack. So in here are lots of different designs. I'll show you a couple. I'm not going to go through them all, but they do look like this. So I chose this kind of snowy scene, and also in here you get a lot of really beautiful things. So these double-sided designs that feature berries, more snow scenes, something that looks like a pomegranate design, and some of the new colors are featured in here. So this is the Moody Mauve Lost Lagoon. So there's a really beautiful assortment, and the name of that again is called Winter Meadow. So I also have the dies that coordinate with the Winter Owls bundle, and it has the framelits that will actually cut out the owls. So several different ones that match the owls. I'm going to be using this one. It also has these really intricate wing dies, and I saw somebody using them on a Ferrero Rocher candy with gold wings to make it look like Harry Potter's Quidditch game ball. Is it the snitch? I forget. You all listening out there will correct me, but it was such a great surprise that I decided to go for this set. I'm also going to be using the tree and the branch die, so I have those out. And I think what I'll do is I'll get started doing a little bit of die cutting. Let me just check my settings, make sure that you can hear and see me. And yes, that looks good. And I see Kelly. Good morning, Kelly. Good to see you. So for this, I'm going to be using my Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine, and basically it's just a little manually operated die cutting machine. It's about the size of a toaster. Just open it up, put the plates in. I'm using Pebbled Path. So this is one of the new in color cardstocks, and I love this color. It's just, to me, it's the perfect color. So I'm going to go ahead and get these pieces cut out first, and I can put those right near the edge so that I save a little bit of paper. So there we go. Just roll that through. We're going to be using this again in a minute. But this is what those dies will cut out. So I have my branch and my tree trunk, and it has all these wonderful kind of curvy bark textures on it. There is an opening in the trunk so that you can put an owl inside the tree, and maybe we'll do that too. I don't know yet. We're going to kind of do this together. I'm going to put these back in their envelope so I don't lose anything. Now to paint the owl, I'm going to use the Fluid 100 watercolor paper. And I just need a little piece, so let's see, I think I have a scrap here. Oh, actually that's a deckled edge scrap. I'll save that for something else. Let me just get a plain one. It looks good. It's actually two. Just need one. There we go. Hi, Ginger. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead. I was going to do just one owl, but I'm going to go ahead and stamp both of these owls because I'm not sure whether I'm going to use both of them or just one of them and which one. So let's see what we've got here. It's a brand new set. I've never used it before. So there's one and there's another. And get my block. That's a little big. Let's see if I have a smaller one. That's better. Okay. If you're somebody who's interested in making Christmas cards to send out this year, stamps are the way to go because you can do a lot of them in a very short time. One of the reasons why I like to make stamped projects is because it allows you to be able to share the designs with people and also to be able to make things in larger quantities. Okay, so for the ink, I'm using Smoky Slate. I'm going to zoom you in just a minute. Let me just get this stamping done first. Oops. Let me try that again. Give that a good press. There we go. Now I keep my pad a little bit thirsty because I'm just looking for a very faint outline. If you were to be using a new pad that was very inky, you might want to stamp it off once or twice. So there we go. That's plenty for me to see what I'm doing. And I'm going to go ahead and get my ink palette out. So these colors are red, yellow, and blue. There's just 3 colors on here, but there's a lot of different mixtures because of the way that I've mixed them together. So you can use whatever red, yellow, or blue works best with your project. These are going to be fine. I'm using my medium water painter, and I'm just going to mix up a nice neutral tone. So I'm going to zoom you in now so you can see. Okay, that should be pretty good. And this is my palette. So for the background matte, I have the Misty Moonlight. I've got the Pebbled Path for the tree, and then the DSP features Misty Moonlight and a couple of other blues in there, but I'm just going to keep it simple and I'm going to keep it within this palette mixture. So if I just go into my color, maybe add a little more blue, that's going to begin to approximate the colors. I think you can see. I'll move this over a little bit more. There you go. So that's starting to look a little bit like the colors that are in my DSP, my matte, and my die cuts. A little piece of cat hair on my brush. How did that happen? Actually, the little monster has been wildly active today, but I think she's finally worn herself out, so maybe we'll have a nice peaceful little session here. Now, the snowy owl is actually a kind of a whitish owl, and so I'm going to be using the kind of ambient color to shade the owl. I'm going to begin by just putting a light wash, and some of the ink that the image was stamped with is going to become activated and kind of melt, and it's going to give me that nice soft kind of feeling that I'm looking for. Just adding a little extra here and there in the shadow areas. Get those feet. The other one started. So this is just plain water that I'm using, and you can see I'm getting a beautiful, very light tone. Just using the ink that's on the stamped image. I'm staying out of the areas where I want the white to be, and then I'm just adding a little bit more in the areas where it can get darker. And then I'm going to give that a moment to dry, and while that's drying, I'll take a look at my card design. I've got a standard sized card base. This is the basic white. It measures 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. My matte of Misty Moonlight is just about 1/8 of an inch smaller, so it's just giving me just a tiny little bit of a reveal. And then I also have some ribbon. This is called the glittered organdy ribbon. And you can see it's got a little bit of sparkle. But what I liked about this ribbon is that it kind of blends in with the blues. It has a lot of blue tones in it. Okay, and then here's my mat. This is 3 by 4 inches. And then I have my tree. So let me just raise this up a teeny bit. And get this situated. Taking a look at it to get an idea of where I want my owls to be. So I'm thinking something like that. Okay. And need this, I may need this background piece to block that window. So I'll hang on to that for a minute. Now I just want to check this owl for size. And yeah, see, this one is designed to fit nicely in there. So that might be good. Let me check my, okay, so that's feeling pretty dry now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch to my smaller brush so I can add some detail. So in here I've got 3 different brushes. I've got 1 flat brush, 2 rounds, and the 2 rounds are small and medium. So I'm just using my smallest tipped water painter, and I'm going to pick up a darker value of that color. And I'm using my stamp case as a guide, and I'm just going to draw in some detail so I can sketch in the feathers, capture some of the markings. Just a little bit here and there. A little bit on his or her front. And of course the beak. And the eyes. And just a little bit on the head. Okay, and I can soften that. Let's get the other one. So again, the wings, so the longer flight feathers. And a little bit up here. Now, if any of you are interested in learning more about painting with ink and watercolor, don't forget I have my watercolor card club, and you can find out more information about the watercolor card club on my website at dandelioncottagedesign.com. And if you sign up for December, I'm going to be showing you some extra subjects, so stay tuned for that. I'm going to be helping you to paint some holiday inspired subjects like holly and mistletoe, and maybe we'll do a Christmas rose. I'm not sure yet, but it's going to be more than one, so that you can have some variation in your Christmas cards, or if you want to make a kind of a wreath design and incorporate all the different things. So that will be in the December Watercolor Card Club. And this month is a really important one. We are painting pears. And the reason that that's so important is because I teach you how to shade a pear, which is extremely useful information because you can apply that to just about any subject that you're working from. So if you're new to painting, that is the lesson you don't want to miss, because that will provide a foundation for all of the things that that you'll want to paint. All right, so these are looking pretty good. Let's give you a little bit of a close-up here so you can see. There we go. And if I just take a little bit of just the tiniest amount of color on my brush, I can model my owl just a little bit to really help to give it that beautiful form that we're looking for. Okay, and then maybe a couple of accents right there, right there. And get that beak. And the eyes. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and get my machine back here. Whoopsie. Here's Cheryl from Montana. Hi Cheryl, she says it's sunny and cool. My day is good so far. It's a little early, but I was able to do some scheduling for flights, getting some tickets for some trips that are coming up. So I got that bit of business taken care of, which was good. All right, so again, same as before. I'm going to put my layers in the machine. Now let's see, I want to get this other owl shape out, so I'm just going back into my package. Get this one. All right, I'm going to do these one at a time to make sure that they don't shift. Let's see. Actually, that looks pretty good. Trying not to get my head in the way of the camera. I'm going to sponge around the edges of these once they're cut out to give it a more finished look. But I want to get that, I want to try to get that as close as possible. That looks pretty good. Send that through. Now because this is the Fluid 100 paper, it's a little bit thicker. I'm going to send it through twice just to make sure. And there are my owls. They look great. And I have a little bit of gray ink here. And get my sponge. If you have the sponge daubers, that'll work great too. I'm just going to look for something that's sort of in the gray family. I've got a collection here of just about everything I need. And just checking to see if I have any Misty Moonlight out. I don't, so we're going to go with this. And I'm just okay, that's not giving me what I'm looking for. It's not, I don't have enough ink on there, so I'm going to go back here. Pick up a little bit of that, can blot it on here, and that's going to give me the perfect match. Not too much in the light areas, just a little, and then a little bit heavier in the shadow areas. Okay, so that's all that requires. Now we're just going to assemble. I'm going to go ahead and put down my mat. Oops. Let me get a glue bottle that has some glue left in it. Looks nice. I love this color. Okay, now let me give that a good burnish. All right, so there's my card base. And then what I want to do is I want to use some of this ribbon, and I want to loop that behind my DSP. But I want to make sure that it's going to be under or lower than where my owl's going to be. So I'm thinking right about here. So for that I'm using my tear and tape. down towards the bottom. Okay, and then make sure I've got enough to tie my bow with. Now this ribbon does have a right side and a wrong side. So the beautiful iridescent glitter is on one side. So make sure that you have that you're adding your ribbon right side up. Okay, so I'm just going to put that over to the side for now. I'm going to go ahead and put this down. There are a lot of really wonderful designs to paint this year, so I'm kind of excited to share those with you as we go along. Now I'm placing my designer series paper so it's a tiny bit closer to the top. Okay, so I've got a little bit more room down at the bottom than I do at the top here, but the sides are pretty equal. Let's pull that over a little bit. Okay, get this out of my way for now. Now I'm going to be putting my trunk something like that. Okay, so I don't want any of this to be poking out on the left side, so I'm going to put it like that. But before I put it down, I want to put down my back of the tree. So I'm just going to hold that in place about where I want it. And then I'm going to add this. Hold that for just a moment, let that set up. I'm also going to take my branch, and for this I'm going to get my silicone sheet. So let's just move these things over. And I'll just dot some glue on there. Has anybody started making Christmas cards? Are you still working on Thanksgiving? Tomorrow I'm going to go back to Thanksgiving for paper crafting Thursday, so stay tuned for that. I've added Marvelous Monday back into the schedule because my schedule is opening up a little bit. And we're going to be having live in the studio soon on Saturdays. But I'm scheduling everything so that they are all at 12 noon Eastern Standard Time, so that you never have to guess when I'll be going live. All right, so there's the placement of those things. I'm going to lift this off like so. And now I'm going to get out my dimensionals. Just want to see what this looks like. Let's see. maybe this one. I want to make sure I keep the owl's posture so it looks natural. I kind of like that one in the tree. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take a pencil. I'm going to snip off that extra bit. Don't need that. Add my dimensionals. Oops. There we go. Just check that again for position. Okay. Now for my tree, because I want it to be dimensional, I'm going to put some dimensionals around the opening. So I'll put 4 of them. And actually this is a good use of these skinny strips along the sides. Okay, but then on the ends I want glue because I want that to be flat to the surface of the card. Okay, peel off my backings. So, get that right where I want it. Hold those ends down for just a moment. Now I'm going to put this one up on dimensionals as well. Oh, Maria's on. She says she's done with Christmas. Oh my goodness. Maria, what's next? You're so speedy. All right, I'm going to go ahead and tie this before I get this other owl on there. Okay, so here's a tip that I learned from my friend Julia. Okay, when you have a ribbon that has a right side and a wrong side, that's the time that you use the bunny ear method of tying. So just make your 2 loops, making sure that you have your decorative edge or side showing. And then, if I can get my big fat fingers through there. There we go. So now this way, both loops, I'll give you a close-up of this in just a second, but both loops are featuring those really pretty sparkles. Okay, so I think you can see that. So that's the secret to getting the loops to match on a ribbon that's one-sided. I just want to trim these. This ribbon really is extremely pretty. All right, now I'll get my other owl. I'm going to tuck this one down a little bit lower. And there he is. All right. Now there are some different types of sparkly sequins that look a little bit like snow. Let me see if I have any of those handy. I've got a few. Got a few different things. So let's see. This is the sparkle gems, and that would be really pretty. But I also have this one, which is the tinsel gems, and I think this is going to look really pretty. Let me get this opened, because I think this has Misty Moonlight in it. So let's just take a quick look and see what that looks like. Oh, I like that a lot. Okay, so this looks like Misty Moonlight to me up above here. So I'm just going to go ahead and there's two different sizes. So I'll put one at the bottom and a couple up top, like so. I'm not going to put a sentiment on this, although there are some really nice sentiments. There's one great big one. It says, "May you have time to enjoy the quiet moments of this season, sending love, warm wishes." I haven't decided yet who I'm sending this card to. So so once I know, I can add a little label underneath there. But that is my card for today, featuring the Winter Owls bundle, which I think is so pretty. And the other thing I like about these owls is that you can paint them to be different types of owls. So it doesn't just have to be the snowy owls, which are pretty for a Christmas motif, but it could also be like, you know, a barred owl or a great horned owl, so that you could use this set all year long. Remember, the Watercolor Card Club is open. You can learn more on my website at dandelioncottagedesign.com. There's a link there that you can click on, and it'll give you a lot more information. Also, please be sure to sign up for notes from Dandelion Cottage, because I'm going to be including a PDF of how to turn a treat bag into a gift box, and that'll be really handy in time for Christmas, for stocking stuffers, and also for place holders on the table. Stay well, stay happy, stay creative, and I will see you next time.